I'm Ollie Templeton, and this is the Great British Chef's Signature Series. My style is pretty rustic, like flavour focused, and like to eat. It's just like simple, it's obviously seasonal. Try and have a bit of originality, but always kind of like playing on familiar ideas. We wanted to kind of create this restaurant in a way where balancing like being a chef with other things that I enjoy, making sure there's time for that. We don't need like 10 chefs like working around the clock to make it happen. It's just 2 of us doing our thing. Hello, I'm Ollie Templeton. We're at Carousel in Charlotte Street. I'm going to be making some fried chicken, habanero honey, chili mayonnaise, and pickled cucumbers. It's got a bit of originality to it. It's got a bit of flair. I love the balance of sweet, spicy, crunchy. So the first step is our chicken. It's been in brine overnight. You can kind of skip that just by seasoning it a little bit with some salt. So the first step is prepping the chicken into bite-sized pieces, cutting it up into nuggets essentially. This is chicken breast, which for this application I prefer. It's just a bit firmer, but you know, chicken thighs also will work. Cool. Now that that's done, just got some buttermilk, cayenne, and a good amount of black pepper. This will ideally then marinate sort of overnight, or at least for a good like few hours. The buttermilk's gonna tenderize the chicken, and the black pepper is gonna cling to the chicken. It'll be inside the dredge. So yeah, liberal on the black pepper. And then the next stage, our dredge mix. So in it we have corn flour, potato flour, regular flour, paprika, and then garlic powder and onion powder in equal quantities. So there's equal parts of the flours. So take like, and for that amount of chicken, say 3 tablespoons of each. Got the cayenne. And then just finally just some salt. And lastly, garlic powder, onion powder. So just a tablespoon. That's going to give it a nice kind of, you know, like umami, kind of garlicky, oniony flavour, which works super nice. Next up, we're going to make a little chili mayonnaise. So the base components will be egg yolk, it'll be miso, white miso, and it'll be mustard. So split your eggs. We want the yolks for the mayonnaise. The whites, you can kind of use them, you know, make a meringue. We use them on the bar for our kind of pisco sour. So into the blender goes, 2 eggs, tablespoon of miso. And then my favorite kind of mayonnaise is Kewpie. I don't know if they put miso in it, but like it also really helps emulsify. So lastly is just a little splash of vinegar. Now I've just got neutral oil, and it's about just kind of adding it slowly and just like keeping an eye on it until we've got like a nice kind of thick mayonnaise. Once the mayonnaise is emulsified, we'll blend some chilies into it just to like heat it up. As the mayonnaise starts to thicken, you'll be able to see, like either by eye or like in the blender, or if you're doing it by hand, it starts to thicken. It becomes a little bit more forgiving, and you can start adding the oil a little bit faster. Alright, this is our like mayonnaise base. It's not seasoned at all. Yeah, so it wants to be nice and thick and kind of like hold its own and not be falling off, because we're going to add some fermented chilli, and like that, if anything, is going to let it down a little bit. So that's the main thing we need to be kind of conscious of. So these are some chilies. They've just been in a 3% brine for around a week, but we're just going to blend the chilies themselves into a paste, leaving all the seeds in. So kind of like we're getting really, really hot. And then once that paste is done, it's just a case of seasoning the mayonnaise. So right now it's just a bit bitty. So just to kind of bring it together into a paste, just a little bit of water. So now it's kind of your preference, but because there's kind of a good amount of sweetness, it can take a good amount of heat. So you're gonna add like 3 tablespoons, and then just give it another blend. Now what we've got in here is the chili paste. It's got like seeds and the flesh, let down with a bit of water, and the mayonnaise. So just get that into a bowl. All right, so mayonnaise is done. We're just gonna go back to the chicken. So we've got the chicken flour and then our marinated pieces, ideally, like 4 or 5 hours. Get them in, and chicken in. And then just kind of with your hand, just lightly coating it all. You want to make sure all of the chicken is kind of covered equally in flour. Now there's kind of 2 schools of thought. Fry it immediately. Alternatively, and this is what we do, is get it onto a rack so the air can travel underneath it and just leave it for a day and let that dredge dry out and kind of starts getting a bit tacky and stick to the chicken more. You get a really satisfying crunch to it. Cool, so chicken's dredged and ready to fry. Oil is at 180 degrees and it's just frying it until it's golden. When it's golden, it's pretty much going to be ready. So we do 4 pieces as a portion, so I'll just fry 4 for now. 1.5 minutes. This fry is pretty powerful. At home, it'll probably take 3 minutes. Cool, chicken's now golden, nice color, cook the whole way through. So drain some of that oil off, pop it into a bowl, and we're gonna finish off the plating. All right, we've got our fried chicken, we've got the chili mayo, we've got some honey which has been fermenting. So for every 5 parts of honey, we're adding 1 part of water just to kind of loosen it up. And then we've just added some garlic, some chilies, and we leave that for 2 weeks. So the honey really takes on these flavors. It'll take on the chili heat, it'll take on a lot of that garlic, and become, start becoming a bit more lively. And here are some pickled cucumbers, and that's it. So what we do now, take a good amount of the honey. It's important that all of the chicken gets really glazed up. And also some of the brine from the pickle liquid. Just a bit of that. And some Maldon salt. And just really just give it a good mix and just kind of let it sit in there. And then to assemble, it's a 1 bite situation. So first is a little dollop on the bottom of the plate. It's nice to kind of have some of the mayonnaise below it, but also it helps the chicken stops it from wobbling around essentially. It just kind of glues it to the plate. Then we go round 2, mayonnaise. Finally, the cucumbers, just select your kind of finest ones and just lay it on top. Cool, there we got it then. We got some fried chicken with fermented honey, chili mayonnaise, and pickled cucumbers.